me, I would distinctly remember that game too.
Yeah, and then the only reason we didn't cover that was because Ole Miss scored like a late touchdown. Yo, I remember that vividly.
They were at home and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's up? We're live. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us. 4 o'clock on the nose. We have no Sean today. Sean backed out about a half hour ago. I think his father's having health problems. I didn't dive too much into it, but I believe he had to run a family member to the hospital. So, hope everything's cool with Sean. We'll hear from him later. Give us an update. Make sure everything's okay. All right, so it's just me and Toast, but we got 14 games, and not going to lie, I'm laying a lot of units tonight. There's 2 underdogs that I love. Instead of putting 1.5 units on one underdog, there's actually 2 I love, and I'm putting 1.25 on each. Spread the love a little bit. Toast won yesterday's show, but we were all in the red, so it's not a real win. But maybe some of his confidence is back after finally putting together. It was just one game that screwed you last night, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope my mic volume's a little bit better today, so let me know if it's definitely not. But, I was actually not really mad about my day yesterday. I was really disappointed in the Field of Dreams game. I understand how public and everything that over was, but to have 3 runs scored in the first and have each team essentially having 2 runners on every goddamn inning was just hard to watch.
Yeah, I actually didn't even watch the game, but I definitely tailed you on that over. So let's go ahead and get started because me and Toast have a lot to get through. First game, Braves at Marlins, and I will start us off. I'm laying a heavy play for me here because I'm laying the juice. I'm taking Atlanta money line minus 141. I'm gonna put 1.25 units on it. I told you, a little bit irresponsible in my unit. I'll come right out and say it in my unit management tonight. I don't know if it's Friday night. I don't know if I'm already a little tickled from the Johnny Walker. But I put like 6 hours into capping this slate, so I know the analytics of these games inside and out. And I'm pretty pumped to play it. So I'm on Braves money line for 1.25 units. And here's why. So, honestly, how much do you guys really trust Pablo Lopez right now? Like, how much do you really trust him? Because he's gotten absolutely rocked in 3 of his last 4 starts, and now he's pitching against the Braves. Look at this. So, some of the bats in this Atlanta lineup have, like, seriously crazy numbers against Pablo Lopez on their career. Ronald Acuna, 7 for 18, 2 homers. Travis d'Arnaud, 4 for 10, 2 homers. Ozuna, 5 of 12 and a homer. So, yeah, the Braves have no trouble hitting Pablo Lopez in the past, present, future. Braves should win this one comfortably. I don't really love Odorizzi, but against the Marlins, I mean, this lineup is so bad. And here's the best part. So, even if there's some miracle, right, where the Marlins are up 3-2 going into the 8th or 9th inning, the Marlins closer, Tanner Scott, threw 40 pitches last night. So I don't even think they have their closer. So even if the Marlins are winning going into the 9th inning, I still think the Braves win the game all over Atlanta here. Toast?
Yep, couldn't agree anymore. Atlanta on the money line for a full unit, but I'm also going to play that first 5 over 4 at plus 100 for a half a unit as well. I think that they get to him no matter what. So at a 4 at a plus price, I like it. You don't have to type this, but I did promise on Twitter some hit parlays. And this one I'm going to do Ronald Acuna and Marcell Ozuna, both to get a hit at plus 130. So you don't have to type all that sauce.
You could get the over 4 at minus 110 or over 3.5 at minus 125.
I'll take over 4 at minus 110.
Okay, you said a half unit on that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so we're both on Atlanta. It was really hard. Trust me, I would love to go sharp and take the Marlins, but it was really hard to get there in this spot here. All right, so we are officially off and running, both of us on the Braves. Next
Play that
game.
over on DraftKings, guys.
Oh, the thing you just gave out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next game, we have San Diego Padres at Washington Nationals. Toast, why don't you start us off on this one?
This one was kind of hard for me. I mean, I shouldn't say hard. I was trying to find value in certain ways. So I ended up doing the Mets and Padres moneyline parlay at minus 101 for 0.75 units. Trust me, I was trying to find a way to play the Nats myself as well, but there was just no way I could possibly do it. As much as I would love to, but just with the starting pitcher, it's just absolutely horrible. So I'm all over the Nationals here today.
Toast, back your mic up about 6 inches. It's way better than it was yesterday, but it's still spiking. Like right there. That should be right. And what were the odds on that parlay?
Minus 101.
There you go. It already sounds better. And you said, what are you betting on it?
0.75 units.
All right, so Mets and Padres moneyline parlay. Can't argue with that. So in this game, I searched. I would love to be on the Nationals, but again, just like the Marlins, I couldn't get there. I was searching for how I wanted to bet the Padres, and I believe the most valuable spot, in my opinion, is right here. San Diego team total over 5.5. It's on even minus 110. I'll put a 0.75 unit on it. It's something I like. I wouldn't say it's up there in the top plays, though. So Clevenger on the road is a step down from Clevenger at home, plain and simple. I know Beaver loves that guy. But he's got a 2.96 ERA at home, and that number jumps over 4 on the road. It's not crazy splits, but it's something to take into consideration. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better. In his last 3 road starts, 2 of them was bad and 1 was decent. I know it sounds like I'm making a case for Washington here, but I just let me get through this. The only decent start on the road in his last 3 was against Detroit. Arguably the worst lineup against righties in baseball. But the thing is, Corey Abbott, he pitched in 4 home games and actually looked solid, but then the last start he had in Philly, he just got completely rocked. Can't put any trust in him, man. To me, betting this game comes down to the Padres lineup, and they were cold. They scored 7 runs in 5 games, but look at the last 2 games. They scored 20 runs in the last 2 games. Over the past 2 weeks, the Padres are 3rd in OPS against right-handed pitching. They're coming back around. I think Toast was the one who said it, said Manny Machado's home run really brought this Pirates lineup back from the dead. So I'm believing in it. I'll take the team total over.
Just really quickly, too, because I didn't give a lot of analysis. To the Clevenger point, you guys got to remember, too, that he's coming back from injury. So at times he wasn't going to look good. But if you look at his last, 4 or 5 starts, if you take out the Dodgers, he's been pitching extremely well. So his numbers obviously weren't great at the beginning of the year, but I think he's only going to continue to get better as well, just to add that on. And you can also get the Padres money line down, like the Padres money line and Soto to get a hit is like minus 115 and stuff like that. So there's multiple ways to play around with this game, guys.
All right, Jason Linares, Padres should mercy them. Yeah, I wanted to take that Padres run line, but they juiced it up so hard. All right, moving on to the next one. Cleveland is in Canada to play the Blue Jays, and I already liked the Blue Jays a lot in this game before I talked to Toast on the phone. And then I talked to Toast on the phone a couple hours ago. I didn't even realize that there's going to be Cleveland's going to be missing a few arms in their bullpen. I think 2 arms in their bullpen because the COVID stuff. They can't travel to Canada. So that makes me like Toronto even more than I already did. I'm betting them 2 ways here. I'm going with Toronto first 5 run line and Toronto full game run line. I'm just going to do a half unit on each. And you'd be surprised that Jose Barrios and Cal Quantrill actually have very similar numbers here. Look at this. So Barrios badly needs this game at home, right? And Cleveland hasn't been hitting righties well. So off to a good start for the Blue Jays and Jose Barrios. He's 6-0 with a 3.23 ERA at home this year. He's been a beast at home. 6-0 with a 3.23. Want to know what Cal Quantrill's numbers at home are? 6-0 with a 3.16. Almost identical numbers at home, but just like Jose Barrios, Cal Quantrill's numbers just fall off a cliff on the road. So in this pitching matchup right here, Quantrill versus Jose Barrios, you can almost put it in the books that I'll be betting whoever's at home. And this game's at home in Toronto. And the thing is, other than the starting pitching, this is where it's a little bit hesitation because Toronto's been so they've been so like blah lately. They're not looking like the explosive Blue Jays that they did earlier in the year. I mean, with a minus 165 juice, they're 17th in OPS against righties in the last 2 weeks. Their bullpen was hot, not looking so hot anymore. But with Cleveland's bullpen shorthanded, I'm comfortable enough to lay a half unit on each of these ways with Toronto here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree any more with that. Honestly, guys, like if you look at this game from like a bird's eye view, because I've actually had some people send me other people's write-ups. Yeah, I can understand a Cleveland like maybe a first 5 play if you're really trying to find plus money, but how bad the Cleveland bullpen looks and how taxed they are, I'm just trying to attack that. So I actually am playing the same 2 plays as Sauce, but for the show, I'm going to give you guys something different that I like that I'm also going to play. So I'm going to go Toronto Blue Jays money line and over team total over 3.5, and that comes back at an even minus 110, a nice minus 110, and I'm going to do that for 0.75 units.
Say that one more time. Toronto minus 1.5. What is it?
Toronto money line.
Okay.
Team total over 3.5 minus 110.
SGP minus 110 for a half unit. All right, so 0.75. All right.
So I'm also playing the same 2 bets Sauce is making. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of variance as well, just for the record.
All right, both of us leading Toronto in this one. Let's go to the next game. Phillies Mets NL East rivalry battle here. Plain and simple. I'm on the Mets run line. Last I checked, it was at plus 105. But I will check again to make sure it hasn't moved. Full unit. Check these numbers out from the Mets lineup. Ready for this? This is the run totals from the New York Mets in the last 17 games. This is just silly. Yeah. And this isn't like a week. This is 17 games. We're talking about 3 weeks of baseball here. 8, 6, 3, 6, 4, 9, 7, 1. Then 9, 6, 6, 8, 6, 5, 5, 6, 10. They're averaging in their last 17 baseball games 6.2 runs a game. Holy shit. This lineup is out of control right now. Yeah, Phillies are playing great baseball too, but can't fade the Mets. Mets, Dodgers, and Phillies were the 3 teams that I said you can't fade right now. Phillies took a loss last night, but I'm not taking them off that list. But I have to fade one of them. Mets run line, full unit at plus money.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. Honestly, guys, if Schwarber was in the lineup, this would be a little bit differently. But Kyle Schwarber's out. He's got a calf issue now, so that's even one more guy out of the lineup. The Phillies, he was by far the best guy on Phillies as far as facing Max Scherzer. So now you take him out of the lineup. It's just really hard to. So I'm on the Mets, the same exact play as Sauce for a full unit. They are just absolutely smacking right now. Looking at – go ahead, Sauce.
I was going to say, your mic, it's only when you talk loud. It sounds fine when you're talking quiet. So I think either back the mic up even more. There you go.
A couple guys to take a look at for the Mets, too. Nimmo, Escobar, and Canna all have great numbers. So if you're looking for SGPs and stuff like that, those are guys to target.
Cool. All right, another game where we're on the same page. All right. I know that Ranger Suarez has dope numbers on the road, by the way. I'm not overlooking that, but it's arguably the hottest lineup in baseball with arguably the hottest pitcher. I mean, Scherzer is dealing. You can't talk me off the Mets here. Next up, here's a game for you. Yankees are in Fenway to play the Bo Sox. Toast, why don't you start us off here?
So, I think that you can cap this game and you can go in and look at all these numbers, and I think it's just the simplest, easiest thing to do here is go over 9 for a half a unit, or actually make it 0.75 units. So the over 9 at 0.75 units, and then just play both of the team totals over 4.5. The Yankees is at minus 110, Boston's at plus 105. Again, if you take a look at what Eovaldi's been doing, he's been getting rocked lately. Definitely don't trust them, but at the same time, the Boston lineup has been scoring runs lately, and against good teams. I mean, Baltimore and Atlanta are 2 pretty good teams. I mean, I only know they played Baltimore once, but still. And then if you take a look at the Yankees, I understand how bad that they looked in Seattle, and they've looked at times, but they're still scoring runs. I mean, they scored nine runs back to back against St. Louis and Seattle. So in a little ballpark like Boston, I think we see fireworks tonight.
Okay. So say your bets again. It was Yankees -1.5.
No, over 9 for 0.75.
Okay.
And then Yankees team total over 4.5 at -110 for a half a unit. Boston team total over 4.5 at +100 for half a unit.
Boston team total over 4.5 at +100 for another half unit. And the over 9, I have that one on my list, is at -115.
Yep. That's 0.75.
All right. I'm on a very similar page, except for I did put the Yankees money line in mine as well. So I am backing the Yankees, but I'm definitely on the over with Toast there. My 3 bets, because I also have 3 bets on this game, are as followed. Yankees money line at -120. I'll put 0.75 units on that. And then the 2 overs. First 5 over 4.5 for a half unit. And the full game over 9 for another half unit. Yeah, that's a lot for me to bet on one game. But let's put the Yankees money line to the side and just talk about this overs here. I can make a case for the over 9 without even mentioning either starting pitcher. It's a nice weather night in Boston. Yankees, Red Sox on a Friday night. Game 1 of a weekend series. I mean, I could pitch you this over without even knowing who's pitching. Now you get to add in the fact that it's Domingo Germán and Nathan Eovaldi pitching. I mean, I know that both these guys have shown a little bit of signs of life recently. Eovaldi pitched a great game against the Astros a couple weeks back, and Germán just pitched a great game against the Cardinals last week. So I know there's a little bit of signs of life, but overall, these two guys have been fade material to the max for 3 weeks now, for several weeks. With these two teams in this spot, with those two pitchers, I'm all over the over. And I think the Yankees are by far the better baseball team, so I'll take the money line at -120. But again, I think the over is the better play. All right. Next up, Detroit at the White Sox. All right, I'll start this one. So, I have 2 bets here, and this is another one where I have to go chalky. The games that start later in the slate tonight are the ones where I start taking some sharp stabs here. But in the beginning, I was all chalk, captain this slate, and here I am. White Sox -1.5, +100, put a half unit on that, and Detroit first 5 team total under 1.5 at -115 for another half unit. Backing Kopech here, and I know that sounds terrifying after what just happened in his last start. Seems like whenever I get trust in this dude, he sucks. Because I was on the Kopech train late. Beaver and Toast liked him early when he was dominating. And then finally I came around and I was like, all right, you know what? Like in June or whatever it was, I can get on board with this guy Kopech. And then all of a sudden he starts getting shelled. Then he breaks out of his slump like a month after that, throws 3 good starts in a row. So here I am, finally, cruising on back in his last start, getting back on the Kopech train. He gets shelled again. I have bad luck with this guy, but at home against the Tigers, it doesn't get any better than that as far as a safe bounce back spot. I think he throws a great game today. It's a bullpen day for the Tigers, and the Tigers bullpen has been okay, but just overall, they don't have the firepower to hang with the White Sox in Chicago. So that's where I'm at. Toast?
I think I figured out my mic. It was doing the webcam thing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds way better.
Yep, because I'm using the mic that you bought for me now.
Yeah, holy shit. It's like night and day difference, bro.
It was clicked on the webcam. I kept on trying to figure it out because I was like, man, I've never touched this mic. Like, there's a rule in this house. If you touch this, you're grounded for a year. Anyway. So, who am I playing in this game? I'm playing the over in this game. I am playing the over 8 in this game. Moved to 8.5. That's fine. Over 8.5 at -105, just for a half a unit. I cannot get behind the White Sox right now coming home from a road trip. If you take a look at their games coming home from a road trip, it's win, loss, 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 win, win, loss, loss, loss. And they're giving up a lot of runs in those games. So not enough for me to get behind it, but Kopech at home has been much, much better. But he does struggle against left-handed batters. His OPS with teams against them is almost like 200 points higher. So Riley Green and a couple other boppers on that Tigers lineup are left-handed. So maybe they can run into one. Not to mention the weather and all that stuff. Guaranteed rate field produces runs. So I'm going to take a stab on the over.
All right, so you're on the over. I was fixing your volume, but I got it. Everything's good. You're on the over. Where's it at what odds?
Over 8.5 minus 105, and I'm going to go for 0.75 units.
All right, over 8.5, 0.75 units minus 105. Cool. All right, so we are not on the same side there, although we're not really against each other either. All right, cruising on to game number 7, almost halfway. Baltimore at Tampa. I know that Baltimore's a public dog here, but I went with them. I have Baltimore. Where's my bets here? Baltimore money line at plus 130. Let me put it up. I'll put a full unit on this, actually. And I know it seems like I'm walking into... I feel like this is who the books were telling me I was supposed to bet, which is usually a bad sign. But this is actually a huge game here. Start there. The Rays currently hold the third and final wild card spot in the AL. Baltimore is a half game back. So if Baltimore wins, they will take the final playoff spot away from Tampa temporarily. Still plenty of baseball left, but this is a big game. Corey Kluber does have pretty solid numbers at home, but hold up. Not only were his last 2 home starts shaky, but this is going to be Baltimore's 6th time facing Corey Kluber this season, and they've gotten to him basically every single time. I mean, I think he had one decent start and 5 bad starts.
Yeah.
At what point are we like, okay, this is a pattern? Meanwhile, Austin Voth is on the mound for the O's, which means Baltimore's probably going to win. I don't know what it is about this guy, but whenever he pitches, they seem to win. Baltimore's 8-2 in Austin Voth's last 10 starts. Austin Voth has also started 3 games this year against Tampa Bay. Baltimore won all 3 of those games. We saw this exact pitching matchup, Austin Voth versus Corey Kluber, about 2.5 weeks ago. Baltimore wins that game 5-1. Everything pointing to Baltimore, the price pointing to Baltimore, which scares me a little, but I could not lay that juice with Tampa Bay. Toast?
Yeah, you kind of pretty much said it. I mean, at what point? I mean, at this point, I don't even really care what the public thinks about the Orioles and what their money's doing because they continue to win and defy everything. So at some point, it's not going to matter. I have the same bet as you, but I only have it for a half a unit. But I have another play, the Baltimore Orioles team total over 3.5 at plus 100, and I'm doing that for 0.75 units because, like you said, like they've continued to show that they can score runs. I understand they're on the road, but again, Kluber, they've seen him multiple times this year, and it's such a low number. It kind of scares me that it's at plus 100 just because it seems so easy, but I guess we'll see what it is. And I don't care what you like, AJ.
I was going to say, Prop Beaver's here, and he likes Baltimore. Giving out a pick from Aruba. Thank you, AJ.
He's on the plane back. He's in first class.
Is he on the plane right now?
That's what he said.
He's in first class?
I made the first class.
I was going to say, this dude needs a pay cut. I'm overpaying this guy right here, sitting in first class. My ass. All right. Next game is Seattle at Texas. Yeah, I mean, I promised on Twitter that I had 2 dogs I was laying big money on. Here's the first one. Texas money line at plus 136. Cannot talk me off this one. I'm going to put 1.25 units on it instead of 1.5 because there's a second dog I really like also. So let's get that on the screen.
Called it.
He did call this one. So basically, all right, there's a couple factors here, but for me, the main one is the Seattle Mariners bats. They're 28th in Major League Baseball in the last 2 weeks against righties, and that's been for like, I know that that number is from the last 2 weeks, but that's been pretty much since their winning streak ended. This team hasn't been hitting righties at all. Good news for Seattle, though. The guy who's starting is a reliever who's making his first MLB start. I doubt he'll pitch more than a couple innings, and the Rangers do have 4 lefty relievers in their active bullpen. So the Mariners should see a decent amount of at-bats against lefty arms tonight. But that's the end of the good news for Seattle. I am fading the Mariners lineup and George Kirby. I know he's pitching really well recently, but hear me out. So this kid is 24 years old. He's pitching in his first major league season. This will be the 3rd time Texas sees him. It's a little bit different. Now, we're going to start to see teams getting their 2nd and 3rd looks at George Kirby, and that's going to show us a lot more of what kind of pitcher this kid is. I know that he looks good so far, and I'm not saying he's just going to explode. I'm just saying at home in Texas, 3rd time seeing him, this might be the spot he gets lit up. Just saying. Also, the Rangers lineup, which was slumping, was showing signs of life coming out of that slump in the Houston series. Even though they lost that series, they were still putting up runs, and that was in Houston. So, love Texas here, betting them big.
So I called this as I knew he was going to do it. So I actually found a little bit more ammunition for the Sauce's pick. I'm going to take Texas as well. I'm assuming a lot of people or everybody's taking Seattle anyway, so I'm going to fade everybody on that. I'm only going to do it for 0.75 units. But people always ask me, where do you come up with these like rules and stuff like that? And one of those rules is teams coming home off of a road trip, right? It's one of the spots I love to fade in Major League Baseball. What's Texas doing? Coming home off of a road trip. So what did I do? I went through their game logs and seen what they did when they're coming home off of a road trip. Guys, they've lost 1 game coming home off of a road trip. Here are the rest of those games. They've won 6-2, 1-6-4, 1-9-5, 1-5-3, 1-7-0. They won 6-5, and then they lost 7-2 against an extremely hot Baltimore team that came in there and just ran through them. But Texas coming home is actually a play-on spot for this team. And then, oh, by the way, if you even wanted to, like, sprinkle, like, a Texas alt run line, I understand that sounds crazy, but they're a dog. But only the Dodgers have more wins by 2 runs or more than any other team in Major League Baseball. It's just the Rangers. It's the Rangers, and it's the Dodgers. So I know that might surprise some people, but they're way up there. So, yeah.
Well, now, hold on. Now I got to see what the alt run line is at. I need to look at it now.
So I'm sure it's a very extremely juicy price.
I'm pulling it up right now. Game lines. Texas -1.5 is plus 285. Ooh, that's juicy.
Yes, it is.
I might privately bet that. But on the show, I'm just leaving my money line bet.
I'm trying to find. Here it is. Percentage of wins by 2 runs or more. So the Dodgers, and this was a couple weeks back, but it hasn't changed much. Or it might have been a week back. 91% of their wins by 2 runs or more. The Rangers second on that list with 88.6% of their wins by 2 runs or more.
So the Rangers, a team that usually wins by 2 runs or more if they win.
Can you guess the 3rd team on that list?
Mets.
Shock you. No, it's the Angels.
I guess when they win, their wins are far and few between, but they win decisively.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Dodgers,
Priced out at pretty much this point, but
I'm still betting it.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm just saying it's hard.
I'm only putting 0.75 units on it though, because at -150, I'm gonna have to lay serious bread just to try to earn a decent profit. And I think there's better spots on the board to get it.
Yeah, same thing with me. I'm doing it for a full unit like I always do, but you already know what it is, guys. It's especially with Tony G on the mound.
Yeah, there's no need to. We don't even need to give a description for the Dodgers -1.5. The shit is nonstop hitting. That's all you need to know. All right, next game. That one was quick. A's at Houston. Let me go first here. So, I wanted to. A's at Houston. Right. I wanted to take Oakland bad here. I had Oakland typed out. I was going to take the run line. Luis Garcia hasn't really been that great at home. He's a much better pitcher on the road. That's number one. And we've definitely seen a dramatic improvement in the Oakland Athletics lineup as of the past month or so. We're betting Oakland on the show. That wasn't happening a month and a half, 2 months ago. So the Oakland bats, I wouldn't say they're good, but they're a factor. Let's say that. But the thing is, when you look at Adam Oller's numbers, it makes it very, very difficult to back up play against the A's here. There's just not much there. Also, add on the fact that this will be the Astros' third time seeing Oller this year. Oh, no. Not just third time seeing Oller this year. Third time seeing Oller in the past 24 days. This isn't Max Scherzer, where he can shut down the Astros 3 times in 3 weeks. This is Adam Oller. The Astros got to him each of the first 2 times. I see no reason to believe why they won't do the exact same thing tonight. But they're juiced to the tits. So, my bet, and I'm getting a full unit on it. I told you I bet a lot. Going heavy tonight. I'm going a full unit on the over at 8.5. I think that's the best place to put my money. I was going to... Oakland team total over is at 2.5. I glanced at that, too. I think there's great value there. I decided instead of spreading out 2 bets at a half unit to just put my full unit on the full game over. Toast?
Yeah, I don't mind the over at all. I'm trying to pull it up because the line's moved a little bit, but I did Houston, and I think they're going to score runs. So similar to other games that I did Houston team total over 4.5 in Houston money line together in a SGP at minus 130 for 0.75 units.
I can get on board with that. That's fine. I definitely think I wanted to bet Houston. I think I'm on the Houston bats as well. I just at minus 350. That's one of the. I think that's the second highest I've seen this year. The first was the Blue Jays against the Royals, that series. You remember that one? Where we saw minus 450 in there? But I think this is the second highest line I've seen. All right, next. Brewers at Cardinals.
The only reason I didn't take that Oakland team total is because it was almost too good for me. At 2.5 at that 130 range, I was like, oh my
Also,
God.
I feel like you've gotten bitten with that bet 2 times in the last 4 days.
I have, so I stopped doing it.
I want to hear you go first on this one because this is an interesting game. Brewers at Cardinals.
I think that there's a lot of different ways that I can understand people getting to the Brewers here. I can understand that Lauer has looked pretty well recently, and then you have the Cardinals who are coming home off a road trip in Coors. But the fact of the matter is, Lauer I don't think is that good, and I don't trust his numbers regardless of what they say. I think that there's only a matter of time before he gets hit up. And then if you take a look at the times that St. Louis has faced Lauer, they have just absolutely shit on him every single time. I guess not every single time, but at least the last time, and more times than not, especially in big games like this. I just don't feel like the Brewers bullpen is going to hold up. And if you take a look at Monty, he's been nothing but solid. I mean, even for the Yankees, they weren't going for him and whatnot, but he was still pitching well almost always. I still don't understand that trade. So I'm playing the Cardinals here. I'm playing the Cardinals in the first 5, minus 0.5. I think that Monty over Lauer is a big mismatch, to be honest with you, and it's minus 120 for 0.75 units. And then I'm also going to take the Cardinals minus 1.5 plus 130 for a half a unit.
Yeah, I'm on the Cardinals too, for sure. And in the beginning, you're like, I could see how people could get to the Brewers. I can't. I was all over the Cardinals here. So I have Cardinals minus 1.5. And I actually put the money line down, too, to protect myself a bit. But I'm going Cardinals money line at minus 167 for a half unit. And I know that is basically a nothing bet. It's just to protect myself against the run line not hitting. That's all. So that's how I'm betting this game. Definitely on the Cardinals. This St. Louis team just took first place away from the Brewers, and I don't think they're trying to hand it back right away. Eric Lauer, in my opinion, not only is he worse on the road, let's give him some credit. He's been pitching well for about a month now, but this dude is so overdue to get rocked. He's got an ERA in the mid-2s for his last 6 starts. That's solid. But 4 of those 6 starts were at home, and this is a dude who struggles on the road. So that's his last 6 starts aren't the greatest sample size because he's got 4 of the 6 on the are at home, and the 2 road games were against the Giants and against the Red Sox, 2 teams who were in serious offensive slumps when he went in there to pitch. Now he has to pitch on the road in St. Louis. Do you know what this Cardinals lineup does to left-handed pitching? It destroys it. Hits it into another zip code. I like the Cardinals with a big, comfortable win here. By the way, this is a lefty-lefty matchup. Cardinals got a lefty on the mound, too. Brewers can't hit lefties. Cardinals can hit the shit out of lefties, period. Jordan Montgomery looked great in his first start, and I have no problem backing him here.
Yep, was going to add to that point about the lefty-lefty matchup, so glad you did that. Also, just really quickly, Sauce, you don't have to write this down, but I will be playing Arenado, Goldschmidt, hit parlay, both to get a hit at plus 110.
Look at Beaver dishing out picks in the comments. You're on vacation, bro. You chose to bail on us for the week. All right, next game, Arizona at Colorado. Damn, this game sucks. I'll go first, actually, because, I ended up liking my pick. I'm putting a full unit on it, so I shouldn't say it sucks. It's just not the most exciting baseball game.
I'll be excited if you take the same plan.
I'm on Rockies for a full unit, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So Colorado money line's at minus 124, full unit on it. I'm most likely going to bet Colorado 3 straight times in this series. These 2 teams just had a 3-game series in Arizona. It was less than a week ago. D-backs took 2 of 3 in that one. And I know a lot of people are looking at Arizona's recent games. They've won 4 of their last 5. They've been scoring runs. But keep in mind, this team's been at home for over a week. They had 7 straight home games. This is the road Diamondbacks we're capping here. The road Diamondbacks are 19-31 on the season. These are 2 bad teams. These are 2 very bad. Well, I don't want to say very bad. These are 2 bad teams. Both these teams have winning records at home. So it should be priced accordingly. The Rockies at home are 4 games above 500. Same as the Diamondbacks. On the road, Arizona's not the same team. And on the fact that Colorado just saw Zach Davies and he beat them. Well, I actually don't remember who won the game, but he went 5 scoreless in that game. He blanked him. It's going to be funny trying to watch him do that again, this time at Coors Field, because it ain't going to happen. The only hesitation, I'm on Colorado, but the only hesitation is Senzatella's pitching for the Rockies, and on his career, he struggled against Arizona. I shouldn't say on his career. Last year and this year, he has rough numbers against the Diamondbacks, but this dude's been around for a little while. I trust him at home to pitch well enough for the Rockies to get the win here. Toast?
Yeah, I'm same bet as you. Looks like my connection's going a little bit bad, but I'm on the same bet. I'm on the Rockies. Senzatella has essentially the same numbers, whether home on the road against the Diamondbacks. He's going to go, 4, 5, 6 innings. He's going to give up a couple runs. If you look at Davies, he's faced the Rockies a lot, but always at home. The one start in Colorado, he gave up 7 runs in 4 innings. So I think that the pitching matchup is a little bit like a wash, essentially. So I'll take that red-hot Rockies lineup right now.
Yeah, agreed. Next game, it looks like we have 2 left. Twins at Angels, and here you go. Here's my second dog that I love. 1.25 units. Love the Angels here. You know what? What I'm going to do is instead of going 1.25 units, I'm going to put a half unit on the first 5 money line and then a full unit on the full game money line. Love the Angels in this spot. Originally, the Texas Rangers were my dog of the day that I was tweeting about, but I actually like these guys better than the Rangers today. 1 unit on the money line, half unit on the first 5. All right. So Angels, big dog here. Well, not big dog, but this Minnesota Twins team, right? They haven't won a series against anybody not named the Detroit Tigers since July 4th weekend. It's been happening kind of quietly, but this Twins team is slowly collapsing. Since May 24th. That's damn near 3 months ago. The Minnesota Twins are 30-37. It's below 500 baseball for better part of 3 months. I mean, we need to stop pricing this team like a playoff team because they have been playing below 500 baseball for most of the season, for Christ's sake. Sorry to take the Lord's name in vain for those who care about that. The last time the Twins were playing playoff caliber baseball, the Philadelphia 76ers were still alive in the NBA playoffs. Like this, it's been a long time since the Twins have been a mediocre below 500 team. So let's price them like that. In the past 2 weeks, where do the Twins have the advantage here? Bats, right? In the past 2 weeks, the Angels have a higher OPS as a team and against right-handed pitching than the Twins. And the Angels bullpen is on a hot streak right now. In the past 2 weeks, they're top 5 in almost every single category. That includes ERA, slugging percentage, on-base percentage, batting average. So the Angels bullpen is hot. Tyler Mahle pitched 1 game with the Twins, gave up 3 home runs. I like Sandoval better. Patrick Sandoval quietly having a very good season. Despite all the negativity surrounding the Angels, Sandoval's got himself some decent numbers. Love the Angels here, fading this overrated, mediocre Twins team. Toast.
Are you done?
I am.
I mean, I don't disagree with the Sandoval thing. I actually wrote that in my write-up. I think that he's very sneaky. He's pretty damn good. But for me, I understand all the concerns about the Twins and their record and whatnot. They've lost 3 games in a row, but they just got done playing Toronto and the Dodgers. 2 pretty good teams. I understand that Toronto's, especially on the road, isn't the best, but still, I still have to worry about that lineup, and then we already know what the Dodgers can do at home. Twins are going to be getting Byron Buxton back today. Mahle on the road is a spot that I already like. And then we got the Angels coming home from a road trip who are 1-2-3-4-5-6-7, 1-7 their last 8 coming home from road trips, getting spanked up. They're flying high from beating teams like Oakland, but I'm on Minnesota money line for a full unit.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what a wrong pick looks like. I love the Angels.
You were able to make some money on this Angels team when some thought that it would never be possible. So I will definitely give you credit for that.
What side would Beaver be on if he was sitting with us right now?
He'd probably have Sandoval walks under 2.5 and Mahle to give up 9 hits.
Sandoval over 2.5 walks. That's Beaver's bet. Coming in with the heat.
Yeah. Plus 2.5 Ks. Mahle under 2.5 Ks. 7 hits allowed.
Pirates at Giants last game. Here, I'm on the Giants run line. Giants -1.5. -115. Put a full unit on it. This is a very short description of why I bet this, so here it is. Rodon's on the mound for the Giants, and number 1, the Pirates can't hit lefties. Number 2, they can't hit on the road. Plain and simple, this is how I feel right now. Unless Mitch Keller is pitching, there's no reason to bet on the Pirates right now. Until they start to show us something different. It's fade the Pirates at all costs unless Mitch Keller is pitching, in which case you could probably find some kind of first bet value on that, because Mitch Keller is dealing. But yeah, Giants run line. Toast.
Couldn't agree more. Giants run line for 0.75 units. And then I also, just leave it at that. I was going to play their team total, but it's not at plus money anymore, so I'll just leave it off.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates, I had some fun betting the Pirates when their hard hit ball numbers were up in like the end of June, but this team, there's no reason to back them right now.
Actually, yeah, give me Giants team total over 4.5 at -110 for just a half a unit. I do think they're going to
Giants team total over what?
4.5 at -110 for a half.
Okay. AJ, yes, 96% of the money's on the Twins. It was the heaviest side that I saw earlier. I haven't looked at that in like a few hours though, but yeah, everyone's on the Twins. All right, so it's time. I have a parlay to give out. Toast, you have a hit parlay?
Yeah, I don't have the number, but I have the guys, and I gave out the other 2 on the show already.
All right, what is your hit parlay?
It is Brandon Lau, Anthony
How do you spell that?
Lowe. Santander, Santander.
Yeah, I know that.
Azuna, and Nimmo.
Yep. And you don't have the number, you said.
No, I misplaced it.
Usually Toast hit parlays are in the 200s or high 100s, so
Yeah.
so probably somewhere in there. Let me move that somewhere where they can see it. All right, so my parlay. Yo, check this out. So this parlay kind of built itself. It's gonna look lazy, but I promise that I took time into building it. It's the first 4 games on the slate, all the favorites. I love it. And it's weird how it happened like that, but I'm on the Braves money line, Padres money line, Mets money line, and what's the 4th? Braves money and Blue Jays money line. First 4 games on the slate, I'm playing all 4 favorites, and that comes out to be plus 439. Conservative, but also enough payout to give you a little kick. Yeah, it's crazy how it worked out like that. But that's where I'm on with the parlay. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. We had a lot of people. I wasn't really looking, but we had a lot of people in there. 463 people. So UFC, we're going live with the UFC picks with MMA Court in 1 hour and 45 minutes. So come back here at 6:30 if you want to hear some UFC picks. We'll be doing that. Also, I'm doing Big Ten. I might do the Big Ten win totals tonight. That live video. I might just go live at like 11 p.m. Nah, I'll probably be blasted. All right, we'll figure.
Really quickly. Sorry, somebody asked me for a total base prop in the comments. Jeremy Pena over 1.5 total bases. He plays for the Astros, plus 125. That's my favorite one tonight. It'll be posted on Twitter.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, yeah. So I'm going to do a Big Ten. I'm going to start doing over-under for win totals in football. It's getting close. I got to start doing them. So I'm going to do the Big Ten East and West in one video. Might be tonight. I promise, follow me on Twitter, and I will keep you posted. I'll let you know. I'll give you like a advance, too. But I was thinking tonight, late, like everyone right before bed could watch it, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. All right, everyone have a great day. Let's cash big tonight. We got a loaded Friday night. I'm betting heavy. So we'll see if I'm going to be celebrating or cursing out one of my neighbors. Time will tell. Talk to you guys on Twitter. Thank you so much for joining. Clear.
So we fell 20 people short of the goal?